ElectraCast.
Welcome to the Congressional Record Daily Digest, where we bring you all the previous day's U.S. legislative proceedings in 4 minutes or less. In today's episode, we bring you the Congressional Record for October 14th, 2025.
Today, the Senate introduced 5 bills and 1 resolution, addressing a range of scientific, transportation, and tribal issues. Among the key measures reported out of committee was S-320, which reauthorizes the Earthquake Hazards Reduction Act of 1977, strengthening national efforts to reduce earthquake risks for vulnerable communities and infrastructure. The Senate also advanced legislation aimed at combating human trafficking through S-1442, which would permit the installation of trafficking awareness signs at highway rest stops, a move intended to aid victims and raise public awareness. Tribal and land sovereignty issues were another major focus. The Senate reported several bills, including S-550, resolving Indian land disputes in Illinois, S-621, which allows the Lower Sioux Indian community in Minnesota to revoke its federal charter at its own request, and S-622, expanding federal land transfers to the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe. Additionally, S-748 reaffirmed the application of the Indian Reorganization Act to the Lytton Rancheria of California, while S-190 aimed to improve the North Pacific Research Board's operations, benefiting environmental research in Alaska and the Pacific region. On the floor, the Senate continued debate over H.R. 5371, the Continuing Appropriations and Extensions Act for fiscal year 2026. A cloture vote to move forward on the bill, which would temporarily fund the government, failed 49-45, leaving appropriations talks in limbo. Senator Thune entered a motion to reconsider the vote, but the motion to proceed was ultimately withdrawn. Attention then shifted to H.R. 4016, the Department of Defense Appropriations Act for 2026. The Senate began procedural steps to advance debate on the measure, with a vote on cloture expected later in the week. Also on the docket was the nomination of Harold D. Moody III to serve as U.S. District Judge for the Northern District of Alabama, a key judicial appointment under consideration. In the House, lawmakers introduced 19 public bills and 8 resolutions, while 2 committee reports were filed. These included H.R. 5242, which seeks to repeal parts of the Second Chance Amendment Act of 2022 and Incarceration Reduction Amendment Act of 2016, and H.R. 5163, which would prohibit camping on public property in Washington, D.C. Both measures could have significant impacts on criminal justice reform and housing policy in the district. The House adjourned after a brief pro forma session with no votes or hearings held, while the Senate concluded business at 6:31 p.m. and will reconvene Wednesday morning. Those were the key activities of October 14th, 2025, in the U.S. Congress.
Subscribe to receive daily or rate or review so others can find us as well. Thanks for tuning in to the Congressional Record Daily Digest. This has been an ElectraCast media production. Executive producers are Mark Netter and Peter Rafelson. Produced and edited by Hannah Riggs.
You deserve better health care, and so do we all. Medicine in America is a podcast that shares real stories of patients and doctors reshaping the future, because the revolution in care isn't coming, it's already here. Real stories, real change, a better future for healthcare.
ElectraCast.
Hey everybody, Diego here from the Candle Power Hour and Candle Power Records. Together with ElectraCast Records, we proudly present Imperial Highway, a California sampler. 15 singles tracked by artists all based in California. Every song on Imperial Highway is mastered to deliver. Rock and roll is back, and we got what you want. If you're craving new music, Imperial Highway hits the spot. Download Imperial Highway. Check us out at candlepowerrecords.com and listen to the Candle Power Hour on ElectraCast.
ElectraCast. ElectraCast.